All right, folks, we are back with more Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising. More fun stuff for December here, and you know, this is an interesting little video idea I've seen people doing for some other fighting games and stuff like that. So I figured we could yoink and twist it a little bit here, and yeah, so we're talking one potential nerf for every character in Grand Blue today. Obviously, the Season 2 patch with Sandalphon is probably going to be a real big balance patch. It's also probably not happening until like February. So, you know, this is still a ways away, because there are, like, you know, there's some Arc World Tour stuff going on and all that, and I doubt they'd make such, you know, wide-reaching changes before then. But, you know, while we wait, we can at least speculate and try to keep our brains busy. Also, hello, Ray. How's it going? So with that in mind, yeah, we're talking one nerf to every character in the game. Obviously, some characters need more than one nerf, and some characters, even one nerf seems like a little bit much. But you know what? I'm going to for the characters that need more than one nerf, or who are really, really strong, maybe we'll just make that one nerf really big. And because I guess, yeah, to explain this, I'm going to sort of assume that if this is one, like, if this is one nerf, that'll be like the main thing that changes about them. That's not realistic. That's not what's gonna happen. But I think it would make it. It's gonna make it more interesting, right? So for the characters that are very strong, we might have to make that one nerf something that's very meaningful if we're gonna make it actually significantly impact them in any sort of way. And for the characters that are maybe, you know, more in need of buffs, then perhaps that we can just kind of like give them a little slap on the wrist and go from there, right? What's going on, Exalt? I'm doing well. So without further ado, let's get started with Granathan and Djeeta right here, our two protagonists. I guess. One last thing, one little bit of waffling before we go. As always, you know how it is. If you like this kind of stuff, you know, any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, all that stuff is greatly appreciated. Helps out a lot. I also stream every day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, except for Fridays. Grand Blues on Sundays usually. So if you want to come by and hang out, I encourage you to do so. That's it. That's my self-shill. Let's talk about Gran. So Gran is weird, right? Gran is weird in the sense that the character's not bad by any means, right? But I'm not like there are a couple of things, but like Gran as a power level feels pretty fine, right? Like he's not so weak that I think he needs like hella buffs. He's definitely not like running the game to the point that I think he needs nerfs.
Remember your training.
You could argue that maybe if you were to change what I'm about to suggest to Gran here, that it would be more worthwhile to maybe, I don't know, like give him a compensation buff or something. But that's all we're doing today, okay? We're just nerfing people. We're just making the game less fun by nerfing everyone across the board. Sounds like a great idea. With that in mind, yeah, so this is one thing. They already buffed this move in the patch for both Gran and Djeeta. This is a pretty belligerent little jump in that they have here with JU. You can kind of make it a little ambiguous sometimes as far as whether or not it's going to cross up. Doesn't matter in this game because the guard button exists. But it is just, you know, it is just a hard to 2H anti-air sometimes. But this is not what I'm going to talk about, at least not for Granathan here. I think the silliest move that Gran has, the move that just kind of feels like it shouldn't quite, like it doesn't really make sense that he has this to me, is 2U. Right, the low profile on this move is just a little too good, I think, for it being such like a you know, strong, like relatively fast 7 frames, right? Like 7 frame sweep, cancelable, so you can usually get like good hit confirms off of this and stuff. It's got decent range. It's not gigantic by any means, but it's got decent range, right? It also having as strong of a low profile as it has. If you don't know, like this thing will hop over. Like if I have Djeeta, let's see, how do I do this? If I have Djeeta like far M, for example, probably. Where's the counter attack setting? Somebody, there we go. On block, Djeeta, if you could please, standing medium, right? Yeah, cool. So I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't want to counter hit her either. Wait. Oh, okay, well, her far M actually hits low enough. Never mind, yeah. I know for a fact, for example, with Soriz's far M, when I played him going to master, it went directly under that. Djeeta swings that sword a little bit lower. Good for her, yeah. But anyway, it's not riding free by any means. The low profile on this move is just a little too silly in some cases, though, in my opinion, right? So we could make this. In fact, the fact that like some far M's hit this and some get you know, get completely crushed by it seems a little bit sillier now that I know that. So yeah, we can take the low profile on Gran's 2U, make that a little bit worse. Maybe even make it start a little bit later, perhaps. Like he really squishes down real fast here, right? Maybe we can slow that down, kind of like what they did with riding free. Gran's not the villain in anyone's eyes. Gran is one of the characters I gotta structure my pressure differently because of that 2U. Yeah, and it doesn't really make sense, I don't think. Like, I don't think Gran having a 2U that low profiles this hard is like core to his identity or something. Again, listen, Gran's not the villain on anyone's tier list, but you know, just something that makes him a little bit less annoying to fight, I'm all for it. On the other end, we have Djeeta right here, right next. Similar-ish situation, right? I think Djeeta is probably like slightly better than Gran, but they're both. I think Djeeta got brought down to a much more reasonable level with the Versusia patch. Again, not exactly like a villain character by any means. There's a couple of things you could change about Djeeta, certainly. Honestly, I think a lot of, like, you can make some things weaker about her, but a lot of them are like, you can make like her 5U worse. Like, come on, guys, we just got that shit buffed. I think it's fine. I was thinking about doing this for Gran. Honestly, for Djeeta, I might just make this thing worse, right? Make her super shorter. I mean, they already nerfed this thing. They took a lot of the projectile invuln off it, if I remember correctly. For me, I think, like, you know, where I was thinking about making the JU worse on Gran, I think I would rather actually, like, let's do that to Djeeta. Let's just make the hitbox. Let's make this thing, like, make the hitbox on this thing, like, less, I guess, you know, less absurd size-wise, I suppose. Make that shit a little bit easier to 2H for some characters. I know for a fact, Ladiva, for example, has, despite her having a quite nice 2H in terms of what, like, the area it covers, kind of around both her shoulders, I feel like you can make this thing a little bit smaller and just make it a little bit easier to deal with. Djeeta already has, like, better grounded buttons than Gran, right? The funny thing is they did speed it up compared to vanilla, yeah. Her super, you mean, right? Yeah, but like, she already has better grounded buttons than Gran, right? She's already playing this, like, footsies game, right? It's sort of her game plan. I think making her a little bit weaker in the air is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Again, we're starting off tame. We're starting off tame. Neither of these guys are particularly crazy, right? But, you know, this just as a amuse-bouche for what's coming up next. And, of course, I mean, listen, we're getting right into someone who's much more interesting coming up next, right? So, like, here's the thing. Katalina, right? So, what do we do with Katalina? This is one of those characters where it actually goes like, I mean, what are we, you know, like what are we doing here? Like, what's, yeah, I want to be a little bit careful, just like really touching light wall, just because I feel like, me personally, I am not a huge fan of reversions. I'm not a huge fan of like, unless, like, they probably went a little bit too far on light wall. But, like, I'm not a huge fan of like, when you buff something, you give the player base something new to play with, and you go, psych, right? Is removing her counted as a nerf? You know, I would consider that, right? So, you're on the right track, Faith. I think this more is where I want to take it, right? I think Katalina having light wall and having that be like a very strong brave counter bait, a good like combo extender, things like this, it's strong. Is light wall too strong? Maybe. But I think it's fine for it to be kind of like an identity of her character, right? I will say, give her so she has stocks for it and has to wait for Meter to get it back for 5U. I don't know about all that. I think the other half of what, you know, Katalina does that is pretty insane is the fact that, like, you know, one of the big things that Light Wall does in conjunction with, oh, my bad, sorry, hold me forward there, in conjunction with this thing right here, is that it means so when Katalina gets any kind of poke on you from literally anywhere, right? Even when she's like she's over here, right? She can like run in and convert this shit and like take you coast to coast, right? Did she give her Katalina Buster? So true. So like, this is unfortunately like all of the things you could, yeah, plus 87, right?
What's the matter?
Everything you could change about Katalina is something that they buffed previously. As much as I'm not a fan of reversions, I think it's fair to say Catalina's a little too ham right now. And to me, one of the big things that makes her ham is just like how high her reward off like random pokes in the mid-screen is for such a character that has like, so like we were talking about how Djeeta has these really nice pokes in the mid-screen. Catalina's even more of that, right? And I think tuning up her reward from what it was pre-Versusia patch is fine. I think they want everything together, though, the fireball buffs and the light wall buff, made it a little bit too much. So, I'm gonna, like, what's like reasonable, do you think, here? Because, like, the real answer is just making this thing less plus on hits, right? Also, Anu, thank you very much for the 6 months. Greatly appreciated. Your continued support is goated. Thank you. But yeah, so, I don't want to like say a number, because I feel like you still want this, like, you still want this thing to, like, have a purpose, right? If there's like, I'm not gonna do the math here, but if there's some way that you make this work off of like more minus on block, what I was gonna suggest initially was like, if there's some way we can have it so like this works, if you're like straight up in her face, then it's fine. But if she pokes you out from like a further distance, it won't work. But that could be a little bit clunky, and that might lead to like too many situational changes. You could make it. I mean, right now, right? It is if you block this move, it is +4 on block. Right, you could make this like really minus on block. This move is the problem though. You fireball. I'm gonna say I'm just going to make you fireball wall bounce. So that would combo limit her easier. Go make 236 you do the Lance close launch on a 623M. I do think it would feel kind of bad to just take it away from her entirely. But you know what? I mean, we're making one change, right? In this hypothetical universe, we are making one change to this character and only one change, right? So if that's the case, right? You know what? Maybe she just can't combo off this anymore. Is that too harsh? Mayhaps, right? But in this hypothetical world, this is the only change that Katalina would get in the patch. So like, if we just like make it so this just doesn't, like, you just can't combo off this on hit anymore, and it's just like more of like a crumple into Oki instead of a crumble into conversions, right? Unless maybe you're like right in the corner, I think that's fine, right? That was my original idea. Maybe that's too harsh, but you know what? This character is really fucking ham, and it's fine. We're not gonna let her cohorts get away. Don't worry. We're gonna be mean to everyone on sort of the higher end of the tier list here. So yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do for Katalina, is just make it so that you Fireball can't combo, essentially, and reduce the plus frames on it to the point that it can't combo, except maybe like if you're literally right in their face when you hit them with it, then obviously you're not gonna be able to take that away, right? With that in mind, let's talk about Charlotta. Idea combo only off counter hit to close H. I mean, to make that be the thing, you'd have to increase the startup so much that it'll become like worthless, right? I think more so just like making it so that the plus frames on hit are not quite as useful, right? Separate Ares from Cat, give her a stand meter? Yes, okay. So, moving on to a character that is a little bit less powerful, you might say, than Katalina. Charlotta is an interesting one, man. I don't think this character is super good. Yeah, I think Charlotta there's gonna be some characters in this video where we're just gonna, listen, I gotta nerf everyone. But Charlotta's not a character that I think needs a nerf. With that in mind, we're gonna do it. And man, it's like, what the hell can you touch on this character that isn't like fundamentally necessary to her existence, right? Because like you could be like, oh, just make her jump arc longer or something. That's silly, right? Like again, that's the fundamental idea, right? Now with that in mind, there is obviously one thing which I've been talking about, not even necessarily as a nerf to Charlotta, but more so as like a nerf universally across the board, right? If I have to change something about Charlotta though, also 1991. PED, are you PED from the YouTube comments? Regardless, thanks for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream, all that. There's one thing, obviously, that really stands out about Charlotta that I've been talking about as, like, stupid for, like, my entire life, right? And I guess if we're gonna change something about her, we might as well change it, right? Like, why the hell is this thing, let's have Katalina block this. Why is this, like, -8 on block, or whatever the fuck it is? Yeah, -9 on block, and if you're shorter, it'll be less minus, and if you crouch block it, you'll be less minus, and it pushes you back further, and stuff like that, right? Again, this is not so much like a targeted nerf that I desire for Charlotta, as much as it is like a universal system change nerf. Yeah, it's me, I really use Twitch. Well, hello. As the president of the nerf party, I approve of this live stream. Overall, I feel the game needs to be less flowcharty. Well, we're going to talk about buffs after this, so you may not be as much of a fan of that. But, yeah, so this is not something that I think is like a targeted nerf at Charlotta, as much as I wish it would happen to the whole game. All reversals, I think, should be much more punishable on block or spot dodge or whatever the answer to them is, right? With that in mind, Charlotta definitely is like the greatest offender. Like her worst DP is minus, yeah. I think the light DP is like -11 or something. We can just make this thing like -30. I don't care, man. I don't care. Why? I wish they would do that to every DP. Why the fuck is her DP so safe? Right? I think the idea is supposed to be that it's a charge input, right? But like it's not, right? Like it's not a charge input. We don't. There's no benefit. Like we're a simple input game. She doesn't have to hold down and then up. She just hits, special and it comes out. So like I think this move can just be like -30 and we can call it a day, right? Are we doing what is best for them? Are we trying to break knees? I don't think I want to break anyone's knees. For some characters, I'm suggesting, like, for the characters that need nerfs, I think we're suggesting, like, actual nerfs that I think are meaningful. For the characters that don't need nerfs, we're just maybe getting rid of stuff that's stupid, right? Like, Charlotta does not need a power level reduction, but this move is just silly, right? Reasonable nerfs? Yeah, this move is just silly, right? I don't think this needs to be the way that it is. Now, again, Belial DP shouldn't be like that. A lot of reversal supers shouldn't be the way that they are, right? But this is the most egregious thing about Charlotta, so we're going to single out her DP, and we're going to say that make that shit like -30 on block, and let's go from there, right? And hopefully, this is unrelated to the video, but hopefully they just do that across the board to every DP in the game, and then we can all be happy, right? All right, let's talk couple Fiend Rock Knights here. More airtime before the potato comes down to get 2H. Sure, I don't like gimmicky punishes on reversals, right? Also, hello, Ash. I like, if you have to, you can like interrupt it in the middle, or you can spot dodge this super or something. No, I think if I down back your reversal, you should go straight to hell, and there really should not be too much discussion about the outcome there, right? And Charlotta probably is the biggest offender of this, at least with her DP. So let's shoot her in the head. All right, so man, Lancelot, Nerf Lance combo limits. Kind of like taking Raging Strike away from Nier. I don't think I'm a huge fan of like making characters literally just taking system mechanics away from them, right? I will say, this, I don't know exactly how I want this changed, but I feel like one of the silliest things about this boy to me, whenever every 75,000 matches of Gran Blue when I actually find the Lancelot, this wall jump thing is a little silly, right? I know, like, I understand, right? I understand that it's kind of like his thing, and he's supposed to be like a little slippery boy, and he's supposed to be elusive and whatever the fuck, right? But like, it's so surprisingly difficult to actually get this guy out of the air, even if you think the wall jump is coming, right? Like, depending on what your character's anti-air tools are, if you're Siegfried, you just HDP it, and you cover the entire fucking screen, and you're fine, right? But for a lot of characters, like, actually stopping this fella from just, like, jumping out of the corner when you've, like, you know, you've gotten the mosquito down, you've put your hands on his shoulders, you slowed him down, you finally have him in the corner, and he just jumps out and heads out of there, is a little silly, right? In general, I think I'm a big fan of these sort of like these pixie, like fast ass, like overwhelm you characters. I'm kind of okay with them having like a little bit worse defense in general, and Lance kind of fits that bill already. Don't forget his -7 SBA, true, but I think most of the time this wall jump is much more impactful, right? But yeah, so I think I'm kind of okay with Lance having a little bit worse defense than he currently does, right? And he kind of does, in the sense like Yar doesn't have a meterless DP, and they nerfed his meter DP, and like gives him worse Oki than everyone else. I think we can touch wall jump a bit. How exactly? I'm honestly not entirely certain with you, right? I mean, I have a couple ideas. I'm not sure exactly which I would prefer. You could give it like more landing recovery, I suppose, right? Or like maybe you could make it so it's like, I don't know, like how do you make the move like easier to deal with without removing it entirely? Because like you could do something like, oh, it's like, you just like can't act until he hits the ground, right? In which case you've killed the move. Like in which case the move just is not used anymore, right? I don't think Lance is quite strong enough that I want to do something quite that harsh, right? Maybe let's say, I don't know, man. There's so many ideas I have in my head. I'm not sure which one I would like to. Which one is actually reasonable though, right? Maybe decrease the distance he travels if it didn't go as far. That's a reasonable one, right? Like just increase wall time. Like again, you could increase the startup. Like making it slower is probably the better idea in general, right? Either increasing like the startup from how long he takes to hop off the wall, or making it take longer until he can act out of it. Or yeah. No, you know what it is? It is like I think it is just this was something that people mentioned this, and it was kind of on my mind as well. Let's just make this thing not go as far, right? He just doesn't jump as far, right? Like because right now, for example, if he does this like upwards one, he like will fully hop over you in a lot of cases. What if he just yeah, like what if you have to be like right next to him for this to really hop over you, right? Like you straight up. Like it still has a use in that case. You like went in for like run up throw, and he jumps your throw, and you're like right here, and then he can like get over you, right? Otherwise, if you're like at all standing like at a reasonable distance, he should land sort of in front of you, like kind of perfectly in like a 2H arc, I think, right? So yeah, make it so that like it still has a use. It's just more of like a hard read escape tool if someone does something overcommittal on wake up, right? If they try to like wake up and throw you or something like that, then he can use it to get like jump over you, get out of the corner, and be fine, right? Again, I don't think Lance is a strong character, but I don't think he's like so absurdly powerful that we need to like really shoot him or anything. And this just makes this move less annoying, I think. And I think that's fine. Have we nerfed Ferry already? No, we'll get there though. We'll get there. All right, man. Percival. What I mean, see, I don't want to just say make this worse, right? Because like it does feel like it's relatively fundamental to what the character does right now. Well, but Flame Carpet feels a little much sometimes. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe there's like some guaranteed counter to Flame Carpet or something. But no, I think Flame Carpet is like for like Percival. To my conception of Percival in my head is that he's like he's got good normals and he gets really high reward off of like single hit confirms into gun and shit when he has stock up, and in the corner he does high damage. That's fine. But like his pressure, I feel like with Flame Carpet up feels like it's a little much, right? Not only is it like the chip damage, but the thing is also +9 on block, right? Make Far M easier to whiff punish or make gun move recovery on block. I think making like his pokes being strong and him having like better good conversions off them is fine, right? I'm not sure about Carpet as a combo tool. Wait, is Carpet a combo tool? Flame Carpet is what Wings of Light wants to be. Yeah, I mean, so it might be. So you can go two ways about this, in my opinion, right? You can either make this thing less plus, right? You can either make it less plus, or you can lower the damage it does, right? You can Flame Carpet into close H if you're close enough. God damn, I did not know this. Crazy. But yeah, like, I think of the two, reduce the flame duration maybe? I saw that would reduce the damage, essentially, right? Like, you either have to make it do less chip, or you have to make it, like, worse as a pressure tool, I think. I think I'm just okay with it doing less damage, right? Like, I don't know, I think it does, well, let's not give Lance any HP regen. It does something like, is it like 1,000 or 1,500 damage or something like that over the whole course of the animation? Let's see. Where's Lance chilling at after all of this? Oh, I turned the HP recovery. Wait, did I not turn? I turned the H. Oh, he's player 1. Yeah, my bad. I'm a silly boy. Let's see. Roughly how much damage is Lance taking off this shit as of right now? That's like, is that like a throw? That's a little bit less, yeah. So it's doing like 1,500 damage. I feel like we can. I feel like we can make this thing do less damage. Honestly, if it's plus enough to be used as a fucking combo tool too, I did not know about this, right? Like if you can make it, yeah, flame carpet into close H seems like a little bit much, right? Yeah, it's plus 13 on counter hit, huh? Dude, like this move is I'm just trying to like. It's supposed to be one nerf, right? It's supposed to be one nerf. So I'm like, this move is messed up, and I'm just not like. Do we make it do less damage? Do we make it less plus on block, less plus on hit? Can't it also save jab? You're really. This is hard, right? I'm trying to pick one thing to change about this nerf, and to change about this move, but I'm not really sure what. Far H with the flame carpet can combo into another Far H. Yeah, I mean, you know, maybe I did not. I'm going into this. I honestly didn't know his ass could combo into this, right? Maybe that is a better idea. It's just like making it a lot less plus on hit, right? Like maybe make this shit like not comboable on hit. Because like between like block pressure and chip damage, I would take the block pressure. Maybe just gut it. It's one change, right? It's one change to the move, and I think making it just like a lot less plus on hit is probably a good idea. I think I like that. It's like you can't like maybe it's minus on it. You know, if we want to gut this move, maybe this shit is minus on hit. Maybe this shit is minus on hit now instead of being like plus 13. You know, maybe it gives you the opportunity to try and like not like crazy minus. Maybe it's like -2 on hit or something. You can't gut it because he has no other good U moves. Yeah, maybe. Just make it more minus. Yeah. Instead of flame carpet, make it flame rug. Yeah, make it like those power washing videos. Get all this gunk out of it so it stops shocking me so much. Yeah, this is a hard one, honestly, because like it's obviously flame carpet. I'm just not really sure what is a reasonable change, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's make it the move. You know what? No, I'm running it back. It's not minus on hit. It's just like, you know, it's plus like 6 or something, right? So like maybe sometimes he can like get a far light off if he's close enough, right? This shit's -6 now. Lower the if he can combo off it, make it lower the damage you can get off of it significant, right? Yeah, that seems like, you know, because again, Percy is not exactly Percy's strong. Percy is strong. But Percy is not, again, he's not one of the people we like really need to we need to talk about Percival. We need to have a long discussion about how strong Percival is. All right, let's talk Metera and Ladiva next, I suppose. Let's talk Metera and Ladiva. So, this is an interesting one, right? Because both of these characters, I don't think like Giga need to be nerfed, right? Just kind of like in the Charlotta zone as well, right? Now, what about Ladiva doesn't fit to me, right? Nerf headbutt, they already did, buddy. What about Ladiva is like obviously like, you know, her command grabs being scary, that's fine. In fact, probably should be a little bit more so. But man, you know, it really is it my boy? 2U is annoying even if it's bad. More recovery on SBA and SSBA, that's fair. I don't want to just go into like the more recovery on reversals for everyone though, because it feels like a cop out. Like 80% of the game, you could find something like that, right? Maybe normal grab versus command grab. Okay, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing about Ladiva that always felt the most out of place to me, at least on the character, as far as like a strength that maybe she maybe shouldn't have, right? Feels to me like it's distant, right? As far as like Ladiva, her JM being as good as it is, right, feels odd. Right now, to be fair, there is a lot of counterplay to this because it doesn't have great horizontal range, right? So you can definitely like walk back and far H or something. Right? Yeah, I mean, a lot of these, like, lower characters, these are definitely things, like, where probably they should get some compensation buffs if such a thing were to be changed, right? But if we have to if we have to make Ladiva worse than she is right now, I do kind of feel like this is probably a little better than it should be, right? What if you reduce Ladiva's movement speed? I mean, I don't know exactly what, at a certain point, you're going to integer overflow back to infinity, you know? Yeah, I mean, as much as it hurts me to say it, and again, Ladiva probably kind of like Charlotta is not a character that needs a nerf, probably. If we're gonna actually do like a real nerf, then like JM probably shouldn't like either make that shit, I don't know, man, make that shit like start up a little bit slower, maybe. Make that shit, make the hurtbox or the hitbox a little bit smaller, maybe make it a little bit, increase like the hurtbox around it to make it easier to anti-air with a 2H. Who knows? But something like that. If we want to just like give her a slap on the wrist that like doesn't really matter, then in which case, yeah, like just make like this thing should not be -49 on whiff. Like just make this like -80 on whiff or something, right? Like both of her command grab supers are honestly just like too safe on whiff. This doesn't like materially change the strength of the character at all, right? So if you want to just like give her kind of like a nothing nerf, then yeah, make both of these like -80 on whiff instead of -49, right? Because a lot of characters, if you like jump back on these, you like can't punish them straight up. You have to backdash these or neutral jump. And depending on how long your jump arc is for some characters, if you don't come down with an aerial, you're fucked. You can't even, like, you have to neutral jump and come down with an aerial, right? So, like, this like the nothing nerf. If you want like a more impactful one, making JM a little bit worse of a jump in button would be something for sure, right? All right, so Metera, another one. There's a lot of characters in this game that I feel like are not really in desperate need of nerfs, right? But if you had to change something about Metera, right? What really, like, again, there are a lot of things that are strong on this sort of character, but there's things that probably should be and are core to her identity, right? Reduce startup on U arrows. I was gonna say, how's that a nerf? Yeah, increased. No, again, I think Metera having like crazy zoning and having her projectiles be good and having her U arrows be like just like the the insta win button in like every fireball war is fine to me, right? Personally, you hit it right on the head, Kina. What I was gonna say is I think her hop could be a little bit slower. It is reactable, and you can like 2H her out of her hop and stuff like that. But Metera feels a little too good at just like running up on your ass with that 5U, right? So to me, I think hop kind of in a similar vein of where Ladiva probably doesn't need a nerf, but it's a strange strength for her to have like such a good jumping, right? In a similar vein, it feels a little bit weird to me that hop's not like, it's not an absurd move or anything. It's just a little better than I would expect a zoner to have, right? 21 frames on this, right? What people, for example, think about how often you've been hit by like Vaseraga's cheeks, right? And, like, by the way, she can like do stuff out of this too, right? Think about how often you've been hit by like the Voss cheeks or like Nier 6XM or something. Nier 6XM is 26 frames. Voss 6XM is 22 frames. This shit's 21, right? Like she's going fast as fuck out of this hop. I mean, like, it probably should still be, like, a reaction check. It should be something that you are able to like, poke her out of, right? But, like, if you're too slow, you get screwed. Maybe you make this thing, like, a few frames slower, right? If you nerf her 6XL, she has to rely on hop for pressure. I mean, I don't think I want to nerf her 6XL. I think I'm okay with her 6XL as is, right? Do you want her to not be Eno with her hop? Yeah, I think you can make it even a little bit slower, right? I don't know if it's like, you can make it like 24 frames or 25 frames or 26 frames or something like that. I think like it just makes her a little hard to stop sometimes, I think, right? Again, this is not a character that needs like a horrific nerf, right? But I don't think this like guts the character or anything. It just makes a bit of a strange strength about her, a little bit more in line with what you'd expect from a character of her caliber, right? Yeah, that's a nice easy one from Metera there. I don't think it's too harsh. Oh boy, there's another time to worry about that one-sided dominance. All right, before we get to Ferry, which is gonna be I don't know. Before we get to Ferry, we'll see. But let's talk about Lowain. Lowain healing is so annoying. Yes, like the 5U. Like if 5U obviously is really good, and in some matchups it's a really big problem, right? But like I also feel like this is kind of, I don't know, this is kind of what he does, right? I feel like nerfing Lowain 5U is like nerfing like Ladiva SPD or something, right? So I don't really think I want to touch, like the eating is, it definitely does make some matchups like very painful. Like Lowain can just really steamroll some people because of how the 5U works, and like it kind of just forces you to approach him, right? But I don't really think, while it is very strong, I don't really think I'm like excited to take that down. For Lowain, I think there's sort of two possible avenues that I see to nerf him, right? Which one is it? Wait, hold on. It's this thing, right? Okay, so I see kind of two possible ideas with Lowain, right? One, every single hit of this is an overhead, right? I feel like you could make like only the, like kind of like how Zeta Pogo, only the first hit of this is an overhead. This is like it's not a huge deal, by the way, but it is like pretty nice for Lowain that he has these flutter kicks, and again, kind of like trying to poke more at things where it's like it's kind of weird that the zoner has like he can do some like nasty overhead stuff sometimes, right? Besides that, if only the first two hits were. Oh, is that true? Hold on. Let me set. Maybe if I'm spreading misinformation on the internet, then that's my bad. Hold on. Can she? If I set her to like crouch block, does she stand block only the first two? Let's see. I thought it was all of them. Oh god, wait. It's kind of hard to hit a crouching opponent with these in the first place. Yeah. But yeah, it looks like they're all overheads, right? Like even when I hit her really late into it, it looks like they're all overhead, I think. Only the first two hits are? Oh, never mind. Okay. Well, that's one thing, right? Again, because Lowain also, by the way, the reason that if that doesn't sound like super meaningful to you, it's because again, I don't think Lowain, I think, is another one of these characters that like doesn't need like a huge nerf, right? Like he has lots of good stuff. He's got this, right? He's got like the Junkrat wheel. He's got the H boys, right? He's got the eating. These are all strong things. I'm not really sure that I really want to send Lowain to the Shadow Realm, right? So I'm not really sure that I want to touch like the really like some of his better moves, right? I mean. Here's an interesting suggestion. I'm not sure if this is too harsh, right? This is the other thing I had in mind for Lowain. what if these rockets traveled faster, right? Kind of like in a Siegfried H fireball sort of way. This is a big move for him, and making this worse. I think we don't mind Lowain in the Shadow Realm. I kind of do. I don't think Lowain is not like Lowain's not. I honestly feel like if you like really just lose to Lowain all the time, you either play a character with a bad matchup, or I kind of think you are maybe getting knowledge checked a lot, right? He's not horrible, but I don't think we need to send him to hell, right? But if we want like a more meaningful nerf, I think these rockets could be faster, right? They'd still be like, you know, plus a billion, that's fine, but they'll be less of a. This is actually sneakily one of the like best fireballs in the game is 228 right here, right? Because of how slow these rockets move, they give him just a lot of screen control. And like doing this, like just like running behind it, or like doing this into like summoning the fellas into running behind it, it just gives Lowain like a surprisingly easy like way to just. Some characters have better answers to this, like if you're like Seox or something, sure. But the H rockets give Lowain a lot of screen control in a way that he mostly uses to like rush your ass down afterwards, which again feels a little bit out of place for who I mostly consider to be like more of a space control zoning character, right?
I put on hair gel this morning.
I don't know about it. Losing to him is not fun. To fight him sort of like 2B, but not as bad. Again, I don't think his power level is out of control though, right? I don't think his power level is out of control. Yeah, true. Also, yeah, rockets into just like eating a bunch because like you have to hold that shit, right? So I think if you want like a more major nerf for Lowain, I think making these rockets move faster is like a big deal, right? That actually will be relatively significant. If you want something that's just like, you know, it's like basically a nothing, a slap on the wrist, then make it like the only like the first hit of this flutter kicks is an overhead or something, right? This like basically does nothing, right? It basically does nothing. But like, you know, again, I'm not really I don't think Lowain needs more than a slap on the wrist personally, right? No nerf human pyramid. Skill issue. Thoughts?
You ready to rock?
Thoughts? All right. Let's talk. I'd rather have human pyramid nerfed, not giving it frame 1 invul. I mean, him like not having or like I'm okay with Lowain having a reversal with 100 meter, right? Because his parry is already in this. Like it's the worst meterless reversal in the game, right? It's like I think I'm okay with him having human pyramid as a reversal personally. I'd make Iggy frame 1. Well, they just changed that though, right? All right. So Ferry, I don't know, man. What do you want from me? Nerf Ferry far L. It's still air unblockable. Yeah, like this is really the like this is. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is like the one character where I'm like, right? Like what even? Like she has some stuff that's good about her for sure. But I'm like, you know, are you gonna make like her normal zoning worse or something?
Are you ready?
Right? Nerf Ferry 2M? I mean, no, right? Like yes, it's a good button, but like make 2M a mid. Wow, you hate Ferry. Holy shit. Remove the L whip side swap. I'm not a big fan of just saying, hey, remember this buff that, unless the buff was too much and it made the character too strong, right? I'm really not a big fan of saying, remember this buff they just gave her, take it away. I think that's a little bit dumb, personally, right? But like, I don't, like, it's actually so tough on this lady, man. Okay, how about this? How about we lean more into making her, like, weaknesses even worse, right? Let's like, so if we have to nerf her in some way, let's make it so that the things she's bad at, she's even worse at, right? So for example, right, this thing, when you air block it right now, right, Ferry is plus from pretty much from most distances, or from all distances, I think. It doesn't really change too much, right? He's gonna be +5 on block. If he hits you like really early on into your jump, is it different? No, I don't think so. Yeah. So like maybe this thing is like still plus on block for her, but it's like less block, less plus or something. Not like punishable or anything. Maybe she's like +3 or something like that, right? Make her outfit cover her armpits? Yeah. Again, this is like, it's really like, I don't know if that's like a huge deal. But like, if one of the intended weaknesses for Ferry is to be like bad against jump-ins, right? Then maybe make her 2H even worse than it currently is, right? That seems reasonable to me. Taking like 2 frames of advantage off this. Like, we were talking about characters who I don't think need a nerf. I really don't think Ferry needs to like get touched in any sort of way. But if we're gonna do it, we can at least, yeah, lean into her weaknesses more. Right? I don't think she has any strengths that really like don't fit her archetype. I think more so we can just make some of her weaknesses even worse, right? All right, cool. So outside of that, that's Ferry. Who's next on the chopping block here? Oh boy. Oh man, these are 2 very fun ones back to back. Oh man. All right, one of them's easy, right? One of them is weakness is anti-airing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make like if we have to nerf her, make her weakness a little. Yes. Well, I mean, if you nerf someone in any way, Hippo, they get weaker. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. But yeah, so here's the thing, right? So let's talk about Zeta. We'll talk about Voss in a second. I'm sure everyone's got their opinions on Vaseraga, okay? So let's talk. Zeta's actually an easy one. Because Zeta, like, they genuinely didn't realize what they did with Zeta in the patch. Their goal in the patch was to make Pogo less oppressive in Oki setups. that's not what they did, right? That's not what they did at all. So I think Zeta is totally fine as a character if she just, like, you know, didn't have a meterless looping 50-50 that works in the mid-screen, right? This is a big nerf. Like, this like, so, what's the cleanest way to get rid of this? Like, just, like, increase the startup on Pogo, right? Like increase the startup on Pogo by, like, some, I don't know exactly what the numbers on it look like, but, like, make the startup on Pogo slower to the point that it can't, like, you can't, like, instant overhead like most of the casts because it'll be too high in the air, right? Make all hits of Pogo a mid. That is definitely more, that's definitely more decisive. That feels, that feels like a little much? I think an extra frame on Pogo is fine. Like, at that point, what does Pogo even do? If it's just, I mean, I guess it's still a little ambiguous sometimes between, like, you know, if you 2H it or if you close L on it, right? I think we can make it, I think we can just, like, make the startup on it slower. So then, like, I don't know, maybe, like, on certain tall characters you can still do it, and then, you know, that's just, like, you know, like, that's one of the, sometimes, you know, as a tall character you get fuzzied, and that's sort of your doom in these games. If you, I mean, if you really just want to, it'll make Pogo a combo tool. If you made the hits a mid instead of a mix-up tool. I guess, I mean, I guess that was sort of their intention too, right? Like, that is literally what they thought they were doing, is they wanted to make Cygames Cygames wanted to make Pogo a combo tool instead of a mix-up tool. Yeah, you know, okay, you know what? You guys swayed me. I was gonna go a little bit, like, lighter on this and let her still, like, fuzzy, like, Versusia and Vaseraga or something, right? But no, literally, like, they say it in the patch notes. They say, like, hey, like, we wanted Pogo to be a combo tool and not a mix-up tool, and they just made it, like, the best mix-up tool in the game, damn near, right? So no, you know what? Fuck it, you guys are right. Yeah, Pogo's a mid now. Why not? You know, is that a big nerf to Zeta? Yeah. Oh yeah. But, like, you know, if we want to give her some compensation shit, I think she'll still be fine, honestly. I think she's still, like, a pretty decent character even without the fuzzy, right? So yeah, maybe this shit is just mid now. Yeah, why not? Why not? Make Pogo a low? Hello, Arakune. Nice to meet you. All right, now, man. All right, I know. Everyone's got their opinion on Vaseraga. Okay. Just want you to know that helping your streams helps me cope with reality. I got an can't play Gran Blue until. Damn. Okay. Well, sworn through swords. I know it's okay. I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm glad that I've been able to assist in some way. That's horrible, man. That's horrible. I hope that you are. I hope you're doing. Or I hope you get better soon, man. That's yeah. Glad I've been able to be of some assistance. All right. So Vaseraga, man. There's definitely a couple of different things you could think about with this Vas fella, right? Now here's the thing, right? We can go. In my opinion, we can go two sort of ways on Vaseraga, right? One, I think they may have made Vaseraga's advantage state a little too spooky in the patch, right? So we could go the route of trying to, like, reduce the damage on something like that, but I think more so, I'm more inclined to make it so that Vaseraga has a harder time enforcing his win condition, right? Than making his win condition worse. I think it's fine that Vaseraga is, like, relatively horrifying in the corner. I think that's okay. I think that's fine. I think it's he probably has a little bit too easy of a time enforcing his game plan in a lot of matchups in the game, right? The thing is, I'm not entirely sure what the one, like, if you have, like, one bullet to just, like, shoot the guy, you know? Okay, you know, here's what we're gonna do. Because if you somehow watch everything that I make, you've heard me mention this before, right? Kind of in a similar vein to how, you know, Ladiva JM being as good of a jump-in button as it is a little bit weird. Or, like, Metera having such a good hop, right? One of the things that makes Vaseraga a little better in situations that I personally don't think he should be that good in, right, is this thing, right? I think this move is a little too ham. I don't think it's necessarily even Vaseraga's, like, strongest move. It's just, like, strong in a way that it feels to me like Vaseraga shouldn't be strong, right? As, like, a big body character who's, like, he's supposed to be slow, he's supposed to, like, lumber his way in, then, like, once he gets in, he sends you straight to hell, right? I think you Fireball being, like, just like a, you know, if he doesn't have Soul Forge, it's, like, guaranteed Soul Forge, and, like, if it gives him, like, such high reward on hits, right? It gets him so much, like, such an easy way to, like, screen control and, like, run in for pressure on you. It feels like it does a little too much for, again, a character who probably shouldn't have, it's not even full screen. I mean, well, could you imagine if it was full screen? Are you fucking kidding me, Vaseraga? You want this to be full screen? This is not a zoner, right? You Fireball Soul Forge is not free, by the way. I mean, true, he's plus 28 and it's 40 frame animation. But, like, who's like, most characters are not punishing this from over there, right? Zeta is plus 7 here, right? Who's doing this? Right? Who's doing this? Like who? Most characters are not punishing Vaseraga for like Soul Forging here, right? You have 10 frames. What exactly is the gameplay, right? So with all that being said, that feels to me, people are talking about nerfing Vas defense. Dude, I will never be free of this yoke. Vaseraga has bad defense. Why would nerf his defense? He has some of the worst defense in the game, and you can call me an idiot and you can tell me I'm a down player. Why do we need to nerf Vas defense? Vas is one of the easiest characters to pressure in the entire game, man. Nerf his 50-meter defense? It's horrible. U-tackle is not a reversal, and U-command grab is like the worst meter reversal in the game, maybe. What the fuck are you talking about? It's a reactable DP. We don't need to nerf Vaseraga's defense, but I do think that this, again, it's not that U-Fireball is like the most ham thing on Vaseraga. It's just that it's ham in a way that it doesn't make sense for Vaseraga to be ham, I think. Like, this being a horrifying situation, I think is okay, right? Like, it's okay that when Vaseraga has Soul Forge and he's like stomping in your face, this is like horrendous, it's so scary, he does like 10,000 damage off this. That makes sense to me. But it doesn't make sense that he has such strong, like, he has such a strong option from this far away, right? I think Vas should be pretty weak outside of like trying to force his way in here, or like using some like really big slow buttons that have a lot of risk to them from these longer distances, right? Yeah, exactly. Being like horrifying when he's here, right? Is like that's the point. Like that's like saying like make Ladiva's command grab worse or something like that. Nerf Fireball range. I was even gonna say. I mean, I think we can just. Yeah, I guess how exactly, huh? So I was even thinking like just making this thing a lot less plus on block, right? Take away his Fireball entirely? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Like maybe just adding recovery to this thing so it's like less plus on block and on hit, right? So that Vaseraga can't like, he doesn't get, like it's like almost never free for him to Soul Forge off this on block, and like he can't combo off it on hit. Like here's an idea. Make it one hit? No. I mean, the one thing with that is it makes the Vane matchup literally unwinnable, so we can't do that. We actually can't do that because it makes the Vane matchup literally unwinnable for him. It becomes like an actual like 9-1 matchup if you Fireball only hit once. But I think the vision here is to make it so that you Fireball, if he gets a hit, gives him Soul Forge, and if it's blocked, it doesn't really do anything, right? And that's it. It gives him Soul Forge on hits, and it gives him nothing on block, pretty much. It like resets him back to neutral on block, right? So I think that's and exactly how you have to tune the numbers to do that. No meter refunds? No, I think it's okay. I think again, just like adding enough recovery that if he gets hit, if he gets a hit, he only gets Soul Forge. He doesn't get like EX tackle into potentially like 7,000 damage sometimes. He only gets Soul Forge, and then if he gets blocked, it just kind of resets to neutral, and he spends some meter on nothing, right? Yeah. So I think that's fine. I really don't think I know Vaseraga is like super hated by a lot of people. I think Vas is good. I don't think he's a character that needs to get shot at all. All right. Let's talk about Narmaya. Let's talk about Narmaya. All right. I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with Narmaya, right? If you were here yesterday when I was talking about if you were here yesterday when I was talking about the downplays and stuff like that, people bitch about Flip to an absurd degree, and I really, really hate it. And for this reason, I really hate that the obvious reason is to make something about Flip a little worse. I really don't think Flip is as good as people say it is. I really don't think people need to be bitching about Flip as much as they are. However, this is where like the problem is, right? The problem with people is that Flip is good. The problem is people go so ham on Flip that it's almost like agreeing with them feels like I'm agreeing with like terrorists. You know what I mean? Like Flip is a strong move. Flip is probably the best move Narm has. Flip has kind of become like the defining move of the character post Versusia patch, right? But like, I can't be like, yeah, guys, Flip's right, because everyone's saying how good Flip is, talking about like, bro, like Flip killed my family, and I can't believe they allowed Flip to be in a fighting game, right? They're talking about Flip like it's like, I don't know, man. It's talking about Flip like it's some like Blaze Blue Calamity Trigger shit. You know what I'm talking about? It's not that good, guys. However, I think we can touch Flip, and I think the most reasonable, kind of like in a similar vein to Metera Hop, I think, there is counterplay exists to Flip right now. I'm in the wrong stance. I don't even know the fucking inputs for this fucking thing. Is it forward? What the fuck is Flip? It's in Kagura and it's back? Dude, I don't, can you tell I'm not an Narmaya player? There you go. So I think the easiest thing to make Flip, where like you still have to know the counterplay and you can't just like sit there and do nothing, right? We can just make every Flip a teeny bit slower, I think, right? Because a lot of characters will struggle to like actually, because with how this crosses up sometimes, a lot of characters will struggle to like successfully 2H this or things like that, right? I think we can just make like, so like this, L Flip is as fast as it can be, is 27, right? Yeah, I mean, M is 42, right? Yeah, M probably doesn't need to be touched, and M isn't like M is 42 frames from this close, right? But yeah, like light and heavy Flip, I think could both be made a teeny bit slower, right? Now I understand they're not super fast as is, by the way, right? Block button beats flip. Okay, here's the thing, right? Narmaya players, you have to meet me halfway. I'm with you that everyone is overblowing flip. You can't, but when you guys go, but flip's not even that good, it's a problem, right? This is when people, but flip, bro, like literally flip doesn't even do anything. Flip's a bad move, guys. Like flip's bad. It's not, what are you talking about? It's not even good. That's too much. Like, okay, let's chill, right? Let's not pretend. So I'm not suggesting a big nerf here. Like if this is like, if this is like 27 frames at fastest, maybe it's like 29, right? Maybe it's like 29 frames or something. Like not huge. Like add like 2 extra frames. Just make the reaction check easier, right? Like, maybe it's like 29 and like, I don't know what this is at like fastest. I think it's 35, right? Oh, 32. Yeah, I think it is 32 at fastest, right? Maybe it's like 34, right? This is like 34 and light flip is like 29. I'm not saying you have to like, I think the move being strong is okay, but like make the counterplay to it easier, right? A couple extra frames. That's not nothing, by the way. I'm not saying that's like a nothing nerf, right? But like, sure, right? Like, that's fine. More pluses comp? I don't think, like, I think it being like +2, like, I mean, do you get a ton out of this being like +10, right? Like, the counterplay exists to the move, make it so that across the board it's 2 frames slower, right? So that it's just, the counterplay is easier to perform, especially for some characters who have like much slower anti-air options or like don't have a meterless DP or something. That's it. That makes flip worse. I think flip is still good in that case, but I don't think it's like insane. I don't think it's insane right now. But I think if we're gonna touch something about Narm, it obviously is flip that has to be taken down, right? There's no reason for special to be more than +2 when they put you point blank. Yeah, like it being like +75 doesn't really. I mean, you can probably do a lot of stuff with that, but like you can loop it into itself infinitely probably. But yeah, it being +2 is already enough for letting you strike throw and like beating mashes and stuff like that, right? Anyway. That is Narmaya. Soriz. This is, so Soriz is actually, I do think Soriz is a little bit ham, right? I do think Soriz is a little bit ham. But I'm also, again, I don't think I really want to like revert any of the changes that, like, for example, this thing being 5 frames is hilarious, right? Like his 623H being 5 frames is like crazy, right? The buffs they gave to 5U are insane. This character he's quite good, I think, right? If there's something that doesn't make sense to Soriz, on Soriz to me, right? And so Soriz is a character who is he does not have a meterless DP, right? He is very scary when he's in your face. He has very strong anti-airs. He actually has like decent buttons for neutral as well. He's got like a long, low-hitting far M. He's got like good pokes, right? He's clearly designed to be a character, I think, who is not supposed to have great defense, right? So it's a little bit weird that his 5U is a better version of Vaseraga's armor moves, right? It's a little weird that his 5U is a better version of Vaseraga's armor moves, me personally, is what it feels like to me. Like, the armor on this starts up on frame 3, whereas the armor on, like, Vaseraga 5U or Vaseraga U Tackle starts up on frame 5, right? Or, like, the armor on his Vaseraga 2-2U, for example, is frame 7. This feels like you could make this... I think you could make the startup on this 5 frames, right? I'm not sure if that's... So the reason I'm trying to be very careful with the numbers here, right, is because this being -3 and 5U being like a thing that beats like far L's from here, right, is like core to Soriz's design, right? So I think if you made this startup a little bit slower, right, he can still do this, but he for example, one thing he can do, it makes it so he has to like actually commit to like this, which is punishable on block, in a lot of his like slightly less minus on block situations, right? Or in a lot of cases where he's like a little bit more minus on block, he has to like commit to like some actual punishable shit instead of just doing this, right? So I think we can just make 5U a little bit slower in startup. Increase recovery on whiffed 5U? Huh? I mean, how long? It's like 30 something frames, right? Like where the active frames are over and like he's. I think it is just, it's a little too good of like a defensive tool to call people out on mashing, and they did increase the reward on this in the patch too, right? In the sense that now he gets twice as many stocks basically, right? He gets 1 for getting the flex and 1 for getting the punch after, right? So I think we can just make this a worse defensive option, and that feels right to me. Again, Soriz is a strong character, but Soriz, I don't think, like, I think for most people, I think I'm a Soriz up player, right? I don't think most people think Soriz is as good as I do. I just think 5U is a little too good of a defensive option for a character that I think is supposed to not have good defense. It's a little too scary to match on this guy sometimes. Of course, by the way, quick note, the counter argument to what I said with Vaseraga is that, like, getting hit, pressing it to Soriz 5U is like mostly just gonna make him get 2 stocks, you're gonna eat like 1500 damage or something, right? Whereas pressing it to Vas 5U, you eat like a full combo and you get hit for like 8000 damage, but they should play Versusia against him. I can imagine. Yeah, that sounds fun. But yeah, just make 5U like a worse defensive option for Soriz. And otherwise, I think you can keep him ham. That's fine. He's supposed to be pretty ham, right? All right. Oh man. Okay. Oh baby. Let's talk about Zooey. Then we'll talk about Cagliostro. These are both interesting, right? So I think for Zooey, the big thing for Zooey with me is always just that again. Zooey is supposed to be this like mid-range, like space control character. Like she can do some funny stuff when she gets in the corner, just like every character can in this game, right? But with me, it always feels a little bit like funny enough, like the non-heavy versions of Spinning Slash in general, I think just feels maybe like a tiny smidge too ham, I think. They put 90% of her stat points into L Dragon, make it cost more. Again, all the dragon stuff, I think, is like this character is what she's supposed to fucking do, right? Like taking the fundamental identity of the character and making it worse is not something I really want to do unless it's a character who's like a top tier and who's like, you know, who's cooking the whole game, right? I think like all like Zoe's dragon stuff being like pretty good, I'm okay with, right? It just feels like some like you know, Spinning Slash is of course he has like, you know, just 2H at forehead. I get it, right? Funny that her L Dragon clashes with my H pillar, so true. But yeah, like these things, M is kind of dog, right? But like, you know, like Light's relatively quick, and then EX is plus on block. Again, Zooey is not a character who I think needs to get shot in the head. So like, I say Spinning Slash is worse to deal with than L Dragon. Yeah. L Dragon in the corner lets her be plus forever. I don't think that's true. I mean, if you just block it over and over, I guess. I mean, it also does eat up the gauge, right? Which you can't, you know. But anyway, point being, I think for what she is, right? I think Spinning Slash is just it should be a little bit easier to deal with. I think it's a little too good of like a jump scare sometimes to get people in with. It's not crazy, by the way. This move's not insane or anything like that. I just think, again, if we're talking strengths that feel a little bit out of place on the character, I think we can like slow these, like both of those down by, again, like a couple frames, right? It's worse than Narm Flip. Dude, you really hate Zooey, huh? God damn. I'm sorry. I don't know what Zooey did to you, man, but I apologize in advance. You really hate Zooey. Crazy. Remove the invul on Spinning Slash. You can mash Light after Dragon. Just remove the invul. Again, I think you just make them a little, like, because you're supposed to, like, again, the idea with these, you're supposed to, like, 2H her out of them or DP her out of them or something. I want her 6/6H to be nerfed? I don't know. Again, it's high risk, high reward, right? So I think we can just, like, make these a little bit slower, right? Or maybe, like, the actual hit part of them, yeah, like, you know, the actual active frames of them start up a little bit later, right? So, like, you can 2H later and not get, like, counter hit out of your shit, right? But again, Zooey is not a war criminal by any means, right? The answer to L dive is to block and press a button after. Yeah, it's -1 block. I'm aware. I know. It's not that high risk because it recovers faster if whiffed. I mean, but if it whiffs though, like that's, like if it whiffs, that's 41 frames, right? Like it recovers faster, sure, but like if it's not hitting you, then that's a very long time where you're not in block stuff. Like it's much more minus on whiff than on block. You just have to actually, you know, the reaction check involved. If you react to this thing whiffing in like 30 frames, you have 11 frames to punish, right? Cag, all right, Cag, listen here, Cag. Listen, Cag. Listen, I don't got, I ain't got like. It has armor? Well, yeah, not on the recovery, right? I don't want. I got nothing. As much as I want to, like, you know, as much as we make fun of CAG players for downplaying and shit, right? I really don't think that I like really want to like send CAG to hell or anything. CAG is like she's in that classic character where she's like strong, but it's not exactly. I just got here. How are you hitting Percy Flame Carpet? Well, you definitely you got the correct move, Vira. Honestly, Flame Carpet is the thing that has so far Flame Carpet like stun locked me the most because I'm like there's like 7 things that you could do to Flame Carpet, right? But like I don't know, man. Like make that shit like do less damage or make it not make it so it can't combo into shit on hits or make it less plus on block. I don't know. Like that move is too ham, and I don't know how to change it. But one of those 3 options sounds right. But yeah, so I don't think we need to send CAG to the Shadow Realm or anything. Shiro's saying revert the M Spear buff. It's too strong. Again, I'm not a huge fan of like reverting buffs. It does feel pretty ham, right? It's weird because you don't want to touch anything that's like too fundamentally important to the character, right? How she downplayed? What do my fellow Caglios say? It's a whole thing. If you, we made a whole video on it. Don't worry about it too much, right?
Playtime is.
I don't because okay. So there's a couple of paths you could go for sure, right? I do think, and Cagliostros everywhere are gonna be mad about this probably, but like I do think this button's a little bit too ham. I do think this button's a little bit too ham. Maybe that's the Ladiva main talking, right? Maybe that's the Ladiva main talking, right? But this does feel pretty wild a lot of the time. This button. I'm not entirely sure how I'd want it changed, right? If you make it like maybe have less pushback, right? I feel like less pushback is actually like pretty good, right? Like I don't think you need to like. It's fine that it's kind of big. It's fine that it's 3 hits, right? It's fine that it's relatively fast. Doesn't it anti-air? Don't let it anti-air. I'm kind of maybe okay with this leaving her closer to people. Make 5H air blockable. That would help too. Yeah. Like it's for me it feels like it's 5H, right? I think I'm okay with like, you know, spear being pretty good. I think I'm okay with her having like a pretty scary throw bait. I think I'm okay with like traps being like pretty hand in terms of like combo conversions. All of that feels Cagliostro to me. Like, that feels like it's you know, that's kind of what her whole thing is being like this half zoner that has some pretty scary set play in the corner, right? But this again feels like one of those things that stands out. Like it's strong on the character, and I'm not sure this character is designed to be like the strong normals character, right? So touching far H in some way. And again, it's either making it air blockable. I like that idea, right? Making it air blockable, I actually do like that idea, right? Maybe we can make it more minus on block. Maybe we can make it have less pushback. Something along those lines, right? I will say, I'm not entirely certain what I'd like to do on far H, but something like that. I don't think I want to make it like just smaller. Like I don't think I want to just like make it a worse button. I just want to make it, I guess, I don't want to make it, I don't want to make it like smaller or like or slower or anything. I gotta select to either make it air blockable or make it leave them closer on block, right? So you can like maybe take your turn back on Cag a lot of the times when she far H's. I got to S++ off literally only using 5H is my only normal, which is kind of ridiculous. Yeah. Non-cancelable? I think that's too far. I mean, if it's non-cancelable, it just like doesn't do anything, right? Like it doesn't even if she anti-airs with it, she can't like even like set traps or anything. She can't use it for like fake like mix-up pressure in the corner with like traps or spear or something. I think that's too much. Again, I think either making it air blockable I like, or making it more minus on block, or making it have like way less pushback. Like we're talking like way less pushback to the point that like if you block this shit in the corner, she's like basically still in like far L distance or something, right? One of those three. But it is something like that. Again, Cag, I think Cag is strong. I really don't think like Cag is not like one of like the 7 characters in my head right now that I'm like, we really need to send these guys to hell, right? I think Cag is just strong, and that's fine. All right. Oh man. I think I know what I want to do on Uno. I actually don't think I know what I want to do on Yuel, actually. So Yuel is the new question mark for me. Yuel is the character I don't understand in this game. I don't know what I want to do for Yuel, honestly. I mean, she's not very good either, is the problem, right? Right, like, this is another one of those characters like Ferry, where I'm like, why would we do this? Right, like, why would we? I don't know, man. Yip talk? Okay, how about this? Because again, Yuel's a character I just don't think we need to, like, send to hell, right? What if, like... I don't know, man, like... Wait, how the fuck... Wait, what? There you go. Am I stupid? No, don't answer that. How do I do the different follow-ups out of the backflip? I'm actually dumb. What? How do you do the different follow-ups out of the backflip? Firearm's kind of crazy? True, but I guess it's like, you know... 214 HM? Ah, okay, I thought I hit that shit, yeah. What if this is just like more or minus? That's what I was trying to think about, right? This and then also I guess it's the Gran, right? The H, I think it's like the U follow-up out of it, or is it the light follow-up? Which one's the fucking rocket boots? Right? But like what if this was only the H version has a choice? Yeah, you can tell I have no idea what UL does, right? You can tell I simply like don't know. I've never played this character. Which one's the rocket ass that she has? Regardless, what if like both of those were just like, so Gran, you need to stance H is the rocket. Oh, you have to like get into stance and then. Yeah, thank you, right? Yeah, so like this is like you have to space this out to be plus. If you do it right in the face, like it's throw punishable. Yeah. What if like you have to space this out? Like what if this was a little bit less generous for when it got plus, right? Like what if you have to be like further away for this thing to actually be plus? Where like we kind of do like a Zangief knee with this, where it's just like it's minus at like more ranges, right? And then similar thing with this, right? But like not huge. Like maybe like take basically how it was before. Yeah, like take like a frame or two off these, right? Isn't that just a reversion? Oh, bro, I deadass didn't know. I'm sorry. Yuel's the question mark, okay? Yuel's the question mark. If that is a revert, then like I don't know, man, because like I don't think this character needs to be touched really. If anything, I'd rather. All right, okay. If that's, I am not a fan of reversions. If I straight up like didn't realize that shit was like that. What if then? This feels like maybe too much. I mean, what I was gonna say like, what if this is just -6 or -8 rather? Right? Like, is that too big of a deal? What if we just made this shit -8? Make overhead longer? No. It should like because then you mess up. If you make it longer, you mess up like you make it more fuzzyable, and you also make it like potentially even borderline reactable. I think that's a really bad idea. No, Like, definitely don't make more overhead longer. Or if you're talking about, like, startup, anyway. I could, like, see making this thing, like, -8. So it's, like, you know, a medium punish for most, or but -8 is a close age punish for some characters. Maybe, like, -7. Again, you don't need to nerf this character, man. Maybe -7. So it's a medium punish for most characters, right? You can remove her safe jabs from UDPs and stance. Oki is kind of her whole fucking thing, though. Like, if this character doesn't have good Oki, what the fuck does she do, right? So maybe it's -7 now. So like most characters, almost everyone can medium punish this thing very easily. How's that, right? I don't think Yuel needs nerfs, man. I think this character's fine. That's why my close-out didn't punish it. I thought it was already -8. No, I mean I was gonna say -8, but -8 will be a close age punish for some characters. That feels a little too harsh for the Fox girl. So yeah, let's just make it -7 and move on, man. I don't think Yuel is like particularly crazy, right? All right, so for Uno, there's a couple of different things, right? There's a couple of different things you could do. So Uno is weird because if talking about like taking away identities of characters, like strengths that don't fit like who they are, the whole thing with Uno is that he can kind of do it all, right? It's sort of like he is like a well-rounder, all-round kind of thing, right? You hit the nail right on the head, Exelion, for me. And the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Uno, that I'm like, this doesn't really make sense to me. It's like, why is this thing the way that it is? Listen, I understand it's got like recovery, right? I understand that it's like this is bad, right? But like, why does it feel like anti-airing Uno is like, you know, taking out a fucking 10% interest mortgage in the bank, bro? Like, why does it feel like I'm gonna die every time I attempt to 2H this fella? Like, I feel like you have to respect his jump in so much. He can just do this shit, and like when it hits, he can just like keep doing it over and over too. So like he can just like do it. Like if you hit him like a multi-hit, he can just like keep mashing 5U and it's fine, right? Again, it doesn't feel like it fits. Like you know. A lot of air stalls in the video game either cost meter or are like, you know, no rewards. Like Yuel, for example. Yuel has this, right? It's an air stall. It can bait out 2Hs, sure, but like it doesn't like do anything on hit, right? Whereas I guess Uno's is balanced by like on whiff, it's really bad. Whereas like it's gonna be very difficult for Yuel to like whiff her flame wheel like that. But again, this just feels out of place on Uno, I think, right? Like him having like, you know, he's got obviously like great fireballs, right? He's got really good pressure up close. He's got like good defense with his parry and shit, right? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. And he has like a good brave counter bait in his parry as well, right? But personally, this is the thing that seems like it's good on Uno. This is not amazing, by the way, right? But this is the thing that feels a little bit too ham for me, and I'm not really sure how I want to. I'm not really sure how I would change it though, right? They just give a turn and tend to be a risk. I mean. Let's see. How would you change this is the question, right? Like I didn't actually think this far ahead for Uno. I'm like, that's the move that stands out in my head. I'm not really sure what I want to do about it though, right? So like if let's hypothetically, let me just so I make sure I'm not spreading misinformation on the internet. What is the hit? What does the hit on this look like right now? So if I record Uno is doing this, right? Oh wait, I don't think I actually did it. Right. So if he does that shit, right, and I try to 2H. Yuel, multi-hit. He can't keep mashing it, though. Yeah, Yuel's multi-hit 2H actually works out very well here. She's kind of a bad example. But yeah, he also can keep mashing it on hit, right? It's a little bit different. Yeah, but yeah, he's +6. He can get a combo off this most of the time. Is kind of the point that I'm getting at, right? In a lot of cases, if he parries your shit late enough, he actually gets like reward off this, right? Yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say, Aster. Is like, what if this just like puts you in some kind of cinematic, right? What if this kind of put you in some cinematic and just like pushed you away from him? Did like 1,000 damage and like put you, you know, like put you over here, right? So you can still do it, but like the reward on it is not that high. It still has like quite a lot of risk if he whiffs, right? Or if they don't want to make it like if they don't want to like add a whole animation and make it a cinematic, like just, you know, make it so that like the pop on it just like pushes you away and does like 500 damage or 1,000 damage or something, right? So it's like more of like a gimmick tool than anything and like a hard call out option, but it doesn't give him just like this unfuckwittable jump in where you have to respect it a lot, right? Yeah. Because again, Uno's strong, but I don't think I really need to send him to hell, right? He is quite good though. I think he is actually quite slept on. But yeah, this just feels out of place. So we'll touch that. All right, let's get going here, fellas. We got buffs to talk about after this too. But we're gonna be here forever. I just realized. We gotta go. All right. Let's talk about Eustace. Let's talk about Seox. Man, Eustace. I don't know, man. What the fuck? What do you nerf on this fella?
Ready or not.
I mean, because you don't want to make any of his zoning worse, right? You don't want to make any of Eustace's zoning worse. You don't really want to. You don't want to touch the grenades too much, I don't think, right? I've been playing this fella too. Make his grenade easier to roll. Ugh.
Ready or not.
Nothing about Eustace honestly, like nothing about Eustace feels like it stands out to me, right? I want to follow up where he jumps. I like that idea. I like that idea. That like, if this, maybe it's just like a little bit slower. It's like keep the frame advantage on hits the same, so you can still like get combos off this sometimes, right? But yeah, what if this just like was like a little bit slower on startup?
Ready yet?
So you make it more plus on hits, like even though it's slower on startup, he still like gets his shit. No, I guess you wouldn't have to do that, yeah. Just like make it a little bit slower on startup there, so you have like more time to react and spot dodge it, right? Again, Eustace is not, he's fine. Like, I don't think he's even that good personally, but like, yeah, like, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. All right, man. See, listen, Seox, he's already, Seox has, I think, has seen his, he's gotten the nerf bat. He's relatively okay to me right now. But what about, I mean, I think the big thing for me has always been, I've wanted Seox to have like worse defense in general, right? Make him have 13k health, nerf everything about him. No. I think the big thing for me, honestly, is I kind of wish he just had more recovery on, what the fuck is the input for this thing? It's forward, right? It's not? There you go. I wish he had more recovery on this, right? Like, this feels a little too safe to just throw out sometimes, right? Like, if his H parry just had, like, what's like a reasonable change? Like 10 more frames of recovery or something? Like, to like make this thing a little bit more unsafe to just, like, throw out there, right? I think Seox is overall fine, but this move feels a little safe sometimes, right? Depending, like, it's not that crazy. Like, you do have, like, a decent amount of time to react to this, but I think this could just be slower. Hit him with minus 1k HP. He's got 14k, fellas. Let's not go too ham, right? Greetings, Brickmaster, who all have we touched on so far. We're like 70% of the way through. So yeah, again, I don't think Seox we need to like send him to hell. But this is the thing that again, with these like rush down, super fast characters, them having like a little bit worse defense, I think is fine by me, right? Just like making this thing more like have more recovery on whiff seems good to me. All right, chugging along, keep on keeping on. Oh man, these are two characters that I really. Does he get counter hit recovery on his parry? Actually, I should know that off the top of my head. I don't think so. I think the only person that I can think of that has counter hit recovery on their parry is Uno, right? It's like 12 frames recovery on his parry currently. Yeah, no character. Uno, I believe, has like a gap technically, so you can mash in between his reversal. But yeah. All right. So with that in mind, let's talk about Vira and Anila. I don't really want to nerf either of these characters. I'm not gonna lie to you. Neither of them are amazing. I don't think. With Vira, right? Dude, I don't know, man. I mean,
all set.
Do we really want to like touch Stun Dipper again or something? Vira's easy peasy, make her 214H minus 2. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Vira's another one where I'm just like a little. What if? So like they made close H faster in the last patch, right? What if this thing was a little bit smaller? Thoughts? What if close H was a little bit smaller? Like not absurdly or anything like that. What if this thing just like wasn't like the world's greatest anti-air button on top of being like close H as well? Right? Like what if she actually had to 2H every now and then? It's also basically her anti-air, isn't it? Yeah, like what if she actually had to 2H every now and then? Right? Maybe nerf her 6-6H? Yeah. Vira already struggles to get in enough as it is. I really don't think I want to make her like her you know, one of her neutral skip options worse, right? I think again, Vira doesn't need like a huge buff. Or a huge nerf. We can touch her close H slightly. Make it like make the vertical hitbox on it a little bit smaller, so it's like a little bit worse of an anti-air, and then we call it a day, right? Again, I don't wanna send Vira to hell. Kind of similar idea with Anila, honestly. Yeah, well, she's not good. What do you want from me? What the fuck are we nerfing on Anila, man? I don't know, man. What if this just had more recovery on it? Thoughts? What if this had more recovery on it? Yeah? Right? Again, this is not a character I think we need to touch. What if this was like, I don't know, it's minus 16. No. Well, I guess maybe, actually no, it makes her punishable by some use skills, I suppose. Right? Yeah, 'cause if you make this like 2 minus and like suddenly like you can get fucking on block like you Larry did and shit.
Troubled, are you?
Please make 214L minus 3, the sheet. I mean the shit's already minus. I mean yeah, I guess maybe like if you have like a 7 frame like 4L or something, this could be a problem, right? Nerf her milk enjoyer, nerf her milk enjoyer so I can have it all. What the hell? Ferry needs this. Help her. We're already nerfing Ferry. I'm sorry. Yeah, again, I don't want to make Anila that much worse, man. Honestly, I think you know what? Yeah. Wait, what? Oh, it already is. It already fucking is like punishables a lot of the time. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. She's so like mid as it is, and also sauceless. Like we don't want to take her sauce away, right? You know what? We're making hop slower. I don't know. I'm just gonna, for these characters where like we're just gonna make hop like 25 frames. So that's, I don't know. Make it again as like a let's make this shit 25 frames and just go. I don't feel good talking about Anila nerfs. What sauce? That's what I'm saying. She's already sauceless. We can't be taking her sauce away. Oh, two very interesting characters back to back. Okay. All right. We got shit to talk about with both of these individuals, right? We got shit to talk. This is where it just comes to be this is where it just comes to be like, you know, we've reached a couple where it's like, what do we do, right? Man.
In mine arm stirs a bloody storm.
So true, Grimnir. So true. Thank you. Nerf Rekka, I beg you, with Siegfried? Wait, Siegfried Rekka? You are nerf Orca? How did you find like the worst move that Siegfried has and decide that that's the thing needs nerfing? So there's two sort of things you could go with. So okay, one thing is obviously like Siegfried's DP is too good, but the problem is that's not, for one change, that's not meaningful enough, right? A little bit like this is because again, obviously like yeah, so you have some very good buttons you could make worse, right? I mean, Fireball is okay, I think, in its current state. It's fine, right? His super is too good, right? Like, his damage is a little too high. I like... Something that I've been thinking about... So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? Siegfried is supposed to have 17,000 health, so that he can use this thing, right? He can use this fucking thing, and that's why he has an extra health, right? But like this like doesn't even take that much fucking damage. It doesn't even take that much health from him, right? And like it's not like anybody fucking uses an install or whatever the fuck it is, right? Like yeah, this is. I mean, when has anyone? They really tried to make this usable, and like they just like didn't succeed, right? It always felt like a little much to me that Siegfried has 17,000 health, personally, right? It feels to me like it feels like it's just like tacked onto him, and it like doesn't make too much sense. I understand that the point of it, again, is that he's supposed to like have extra health because he uses it like this, right? But like, what if we just like took 1,000 health off the motherfucker, huh? Like, I don't think that's, that's a big nerf, right? Yeah, like percentage-wise, he's not losing quite as much health. Like what happened to like Lancelot or something. Like, what if he just had 16k health, right? Like, again, I don't think Siegfried is very strong. I don't think. We'll talk about at some point. I want to make a video on what I consider to be like a healthy top tier. I do think Siegfried counts, right? So I don't think I want to like really shoot him in the head or anything. Losing 1,000 health is like fine, right? I don't think 1,000 is enough. Okay, but it like doesn't make sense for Sieg to be like a 15,000 health character, right? Like 16,000 health and the health loss mechanic, that's enough for me, right? I think if you like he's 16,000 health and he has a health loss mechanic, right? So I think just giving him 16,000 health is fine. People saying like nerf his damage and shit, like again. The identity of the character is that he's big sword man and he hits you when it hurts, right? So I think like him hitting hard is fine, right? Maybe make 5U take significantly more? Again, I think again, I'm okay with Siegfried being good. I'm okay with him being strong. I'm okay with him being on the higher end of the video game, right? I think we just like taking 1,000 health off is not nothing, right? Like I think people are a little bit underestimating the impact that removing 1,000 health from a character is. I think we can do that and move on, right? I feel like 5U should do more than just damage. That's a lot. I mean, if we want to talk about a buff for Siegfried, we'll get there. We'll do this afterwards. But Sieg players already don't use 5U that much. Yeah. They use it every now and then. So like, but still, like you know, he'll take like 500 to 1,000 of his own health every round. If you take 1,000 health off him again, he actually becomes like less tanky than average, right? What change do you say for Ladiva? I mean, again, there's a lot of characters where like nerfing them in any way just feels wrong. For Ladiva, I said maybe make JM a little bit less ham because it feels out of place on her to have like such a good jumping button. Taking stuff away to base, then giving it to 5U? Interesting. All right, so let's talk about Grimnir. I mean, I'll be honest. This is where my lack of knowledge shows a little bit here. I'm not sure exactly how you do this, but kind of in the same vein as Zeta, I don't think Grim should have a 50-50. That's a big nerf. That's a big nerf, right? But like Grim's a very good character. And I don't think he should have a 50-50. He already has like really strong offense with the seals, regardless. So again, this is where like maybe like don't talk if you don't know, because like I can't do the 50-50 for you right now, right? How the fuck would you even do that? I don't know. You'd have to like, I don't know. This is where I can identify the problem for you. I actually don't know the solution, right? I can't tell you like exactly what part of it needs to change, right? But like, it just feels wrong to me, right? I just want a way to remove seals, personally? No. I don't know about all that, right? Because when he has the seals up, he still has, like, you know, the best throw bait in the game, right? He's got, like, he's got very spooky offense. He gets high damage, right? The seals make, like, he has a very good EX fireball here to, like, hide behind his shit, right? And go from there. Like, I think Grimnir he doesn't need his 50-50 to be strong, right? Actually, quite simple. Any normal done after an air dash is no longer an overhead? Ooh, but does that have, like, far-reaching consequences for other shit, huh? That would work, right? Like, that would work. That would certainly work. You could make U seals, like, push back on U seals, right? To make it so, like, you can't, like, follow up as easily with a combo after and just, like, ends the combo and resets into Oki, right? Hear me out. What if the seals are actually destructible? You lose them after taking... No. Again, people, like, listen, killing the fundamental identity of the character is too much, guys. Like, if you hit Grimnir and his seals go away, or if you can smack his seals out of the air, that feels like too much to me. I think that's, like, keeping what is, like, fundamentally strong about him strong feels okay to me, right? Yeah, you can't kill his win con, exactly, right? But I don't think he needs the 50-50. I don't think he needs the, like, I think he still has, like, very strong offense, even if he didn't have that 50-50 off the U seal dash into all the nonsense. I guess, yeah, maybe, like, any normal done after an air dash is not an overhead. I don't think that has, like, horrible, far-reaching changes that, like, ruin the character. I don't think so, right? Alternatively, you could make it so that this U seal setup in the air, right? What the fuck? Is it not, wait, what? Am I stupid? There you go. Okay, I'll take him down back, I guess, instead of down. Cool. But yeah, maybe you could make it so that this, like, has more pushback when used in a combo, right? So, like, you can't, like, continue the combo after you set these or something. I'm not sure. But some change that gets rid of his 50-50 sounds right to me. I think he's still quite good, by the way, if you take that away, right? I think he still has good offense. I just feel like, for the most part, with all these characters that have 50-50s and, like, don't pay for them, right? It's like Lowain enforces combo limits. That could be an idea, too. Yeah, that could be an idea, too. But usually, Grand Blue is not a game that is designed around having, like, 50-50s for free, right? Most characters in this game do not have, like, true 50-50s. And if they do, they usually pay for them quite heavily, right? Think of your Ladivas or your Ferries or something like that, right? Or your Yuels. Whereas, like, characters like Zeta and Grimnir get 50-50s and, like, they just, like, don't really get... It doesn't really matter at all, right? It doesn't really matter at all. So it just doesn't feel in line, I guess, with sort of the design principles of the video game to me. Problem is, WinCon has no interaction from the opponent. It feels like the seals play his own game. I mean, you can, like, the seal dash is on a very high attack level. You can anti-air him out of it. Like, it depends character to character. Some characters are better at dealing with seal dashes than others, but I think, like, him being strong with seals up is fine, right? The alternative, if you don't want to take his 50-50 away, an alternative suggestion for Grimnir that I can actually be a lot more clear about is, like, you know how you can, like, put his EX tornado down in front of him, right? You can keep that shit. I actually don't know the input for this. You can tell I don't actually play a lot of the characters in the game. Is it like, you like re-input it or something? How do you keep the tornado out in front of you? There you go. You hold down while you do it. Gotcha. It's like, you know, you can do this. Maybe you just can't do that anymore, right? Like, it makes it a little bit... One of the other things that makes Grimnir so strong is that he's a setup character. He's a two-step character. But his setup is, like, hilariously easy, right? Because against 90% of the cast, you do this, and, like, very few characters have an answer to this, right? So, like, yeah, Grimnir will just always... He does this, and then he does this, and then boom, win con, right? So, maybe you make it so, like, he just straight up can't fucking do that anymore. And, like, this is the only EX fireball he has. I don't know if, like, taking a move away from him is, like, fair. Right? Maybe, like, but yeah, make this, like, make this, change this tornado in such a way, like, it can't just, like, hide behind this in neutral, right? Either give it, like, way more recovery or something, right? So yeah, I don't think, one of two things like that. Either, if he's supposed to be, like, a setup and two-step character, and we're gonna say that, like, oh, okay, once he has his seals up, he should be very strong, and he should have 50-50 and everything, cool. Then make his setup more difficult by, like, making this worse, like, just this into that worse. Or just, you know, keep that, make his setup easy, but make it a little bit less belligerent and take his 50-50 away, right? That's it, I think. Alright, cool. Moving on. Oh man, dude, I don't... This is actually the... No. Like, can I skip? Have we not done enough? Right? Have we not done enough? What do you want to nerf on Nier? Right? I don't know, man. Right? Like, what the fuck do you want? Right? Like, you already took the kids. What more do you want? Like, what do you want from me? Skip? Like, remove death? Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, she had like 17 pages of nerfs in the Versusia patch. She can't BC if death is out. Give her a McDonald's happy. Yeah, you know what? I'm copping out. Nier, her nerf, if she gets a battle pass skin in season 2, along with the Sandalphon one, and it's a McDonald's outfit. And every time she loses the opponent, all of the win quotes change. She just put the fries in the bag, bro. And we move on from there. Okay, cool. Nier, I'm skipping. You can't make me. You can't make me. All right. Beelzebub. Beelzebub. Let's talk about this this Beelzebub individual. McDonald's uniform, yeah. Nier gets a battle pass outfit that is a McDonald's uniform, and yeah, just put the fries in the bag, bro. And he's crying about minimum wage the whole time. What were other nerfs for characters to just start this? Yeah, so for Bubs, there's a couple of different things you can change, right? Me personally, the thing about Bubs that feels like it doesn't make sense on his character as much. I mean, again, dive kick is like his thing, right? Fundamental things on the character feel wrong to change to me, right? I think it's okay that his dive kick is very good. That's like his defining move. That's like nerfing the defining move on any character, unless it's like truly a problem. I think it's a bad idea, right? The thing that like feels weird to me on this guy is let me see if I remember the input for this. No, it's not that. My bad. Hold on. It's this. This feels like it shouldn't exist, right? Like why? I don't know why Bubs can do that. I don't think Bubs, by the way, is like in dire need of huge nerfs. But like this like doesn't feel like it really fits. Like I'm not sure like why this is a thing that he can do. I'm not sure exactly how. Don't nerf the funny. I think I have to nerf the funny. I think it's the only thing, like the only like strength on Bubs like doesn't feel like it fits to me. I'm not entirely sure how you make this work. Maybe Karma doesn't actually work on people in block stun, right? It's like it's still like a reaction. Dive kick is dumb. Yeah, but that's like saying like SPD is dumb, bro. Like dive kick, like dive kick is his best move. That's like saying like GG is dumb. Nerf GG or like it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's not crazy good, but it feels like it shouldn't happen. Yeah, exactly. And like Bubs, I don't think needs like crazy big nerfs. But like this just feels kind of silly. So like maybe Karma just like can't hit people in block stun anymore, right? Like it can only hit people raw like this, so it's like a reaction check, and that's all it does. Yeah. Because also like you can still like get a combo that way. Like if they don't block it, right? You can still do like you can still do like this, right? Oh, I didn't do down. My bad. But yeah, you can still do like this into Karma, and it's like a shit ton of damage. That's fine. But it just like you can't do it in block stun anymore. I think. Otherwise, I think Bubs is fine. Remove that and never use it, then rework you suck. Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, that's good for me on Bubs, I think. All right. Oh baby. Okay. Oh man, both of these guys are very interesting. I mean, one of them is less interesting than the other, but let's talk about Mr. So Belial is the one who is like, get one change for this guy is impossible, right? If you want to give one change to Belial and have it be meaningful, it's like his strengths are so spread out across his kit. Like just changing one thing about him feels like it's just not enough. Because like there is an obvious candidate here, right? There's an obvious candidate. Actually, I'm curious. So if there's one obvious thing to nerf on Belial, I'm not looking at chat. I'm gonna wait like 20 seconds. Tell me what you think is the most obvious candidate for a nerf on Belial if you have to change one thing, and then I'll see if we agree, right? Because like he has a lot of strong tools. There's one thing he has that literally no one else has that just feels wrong, Okay, wait. I'm looking. I'm looking. Well, that's a lot of things. That is not nearly as unanimous as I thought it would be. That's fair. I mean, that just goes to show you, right? That just goes to show you how strong Belial is, right? Like, yeah, like that just goes to show you how varied his toolkit is. It was like 5 things here. Okay. Yes, I will say though, the majority of you got it, I think. The majority of you got it, right? The majority of you got it. The thing that Belial has that literally no one else in the game has, and it doesn't feel like it makes sense because he is already the man that has everything, is this thing. Why is this the only low plus on block 2M in the game? There are 2 other plus on block 2Ms in the game. One of them belongs to Gran, and one of them belongs to Narmaya, and she has to be in Kagura to do it. Notable is that both of those are mids, right? Now, I think the stronger part of this is probably it being plus on block. And if we're gonna do one thing to Belial, if I have to do one thing, right, then probably just like, yeah, this ship should probably just be minus on block, honestly. 2M is probably like, like -2, -3.
Back to work.
Right? Like, 2M should not be something you can continue pressure off of. That's a big nerf, by the way. That's a big nerf. But like, again, if we want to change one thing about Belial, I think we kind of have to go for the jugular just a little bit, right? It's not very important to his game plan. Why does this guy get a plus DP? Yeah, I mean, a lot of the reversals are silly, I think. Make it minus means that counter at 2H doesn't give him far H or 6XL anymore, too. I mean, again, you can change only the recovery on block, for example. I think I'm okay with it being like good for combo tools, right? But like I think more like, I mean, if we really wanted to like have a really big nerf, then yeah, like, you know, make it less minus on hit and on block. I was more so just conceptualizing having it be like more minus on block, right? Like make it like -2, -3 on block, and otherwise keep it the same. As much, by the way, as everyone memes about him, and I meme about him too, I was talking about healthy top tiers earlier, in my opinion. I think Belial is pretty close to that concept too, right? Like, if they're gonna pick somebody to be, like, in discussion for top 1 for the entire game's lifespan, Belial is one of the better picks on the roster, in my opinion. I don't know if that's gonna get me shot or what, but, like, I'm okay with, like, I don't think we need to gut Belial, right? I don't think he's, like, unhealthy in the ways that he's strong, except for this, right? This is a little too him. This is a little too, he has like one more thing, right? The frustrating thing is you're right, yeah, right? Like, if someone has to be, like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna look into your soul for, because like some of you agree with me, some of you are not, don't. But like, if one character had to be top 1, let's say, Belial's arguably not top 1, but if one character had to be top 1 for the entire lifespan of the game, Belial's not actually that cheap. He's just kind of flawless, right? Like, he doesn't have, like, a 50-50, he doesn't have, like, an unblockable setup, he used to, or, you know, but, you know, he doesn't have an unblockable setup, he doesn't have, like, all his shit there's technically counterplay to. He's, like, he's not, the main thing is just that he has no weakness, right? Like, he's, like, I'm telling you, you would really hate, I've not played vanilla, for example, but like if you're like me and you have not played vanilla, you only played Rising, you would really hate like a top 1 Ferry, a top 1 Ladiva, you know? Like you would really hate like one of those kind of characters. And I know some people don't agree on this take that like, oh, you know, why can't like X archetype be strong? It's because the archetypes are based on removing counterplay, right? The archetypes are, yeah, unless you play those characters, right? Unless you play those characters. The archetypes are based on removing counterplay. Their strengths don't have very much counterplay to them. Right? Whereas there is counterplay to all Belial's shit. There's just so much you have to worry about. With the exception of, like, this is a little too good. Right? This is a little too good. It's a little too good. I think we can make this -3 on block, and then Belial will still be, like, one of the best characters in the game, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Can we talk about how insane Asmodeus is as a hit confirm tool? What the fuck is that? Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. We make it -3. We go from there. Alright, man. Abel, here's the thing. Please do tell us what's the counterplay on 2M. Some of y'all motherfuckers just have fucking cotton balls in your ears. I said except for 2M. 2M's a little too him. Some of y'all just want to argue, and that's fun. If you didn't have a DP versus Season 1 base Grand Blue versus Ladiva, you were fucked. Interesting. I was not aware of this. Okay, so here's the thing. I think Abel's a little too him. I think he's not like a top tier by any means, but I think like when we were talking about, you know, with like certain archetypes of characters probably shouldn't be as good as they are, right? I think the Abel buffs were great, but I feel like it was a little too much. It was a little too much. Lower his health? You guys are fucking... Do you guys, like, think before you speak? I'm really curious sometimes. Also, Kuro Tensa, thank you for the follow. Here's the thing, right? What if... So, the big thing they did to Abel in the patch is that they made it so that his packed follow-ups, like, they take the properties of whatever move he just used. So, like what that basically mostly means. You're on Twitch, no one is thinking? I suppose so, right? Akuma is never fun as a top tier, same with Abel. Yeah, but Akuma's, like, grandfathered in, right? Akuma just ends up being top tier in every Street Fighter game. It's fine, right? I think what we can do, and this is a big nerf to Abel, but, you know, I think it's fine. This thing where, like, his packed follow-ups maintain their, like, the properties of the move they got. So if you do, like, an EX into nonsense, right? Then, like, he gets, like, wall bounces or stuff like that, right? I think that's okay. I think what we can do is what if it wasn't true for this thing, right? Like, what if he just couldn't combo off command grab? That's a big nerf, because that is one of the one of the things he can do that's kind of crazy is that he does have like a reactable mix between dive kick and command grab, but you know, you die if you get hit by either of them, right? Or laser or stuff like that. But, like, what if he just like couldn't combo off command grab, right? Like, what if he just got command grab into packed, right? And then from there, like, you got like, you know, whatever it is, it's like it's 3,000 damage, right? And he just that's it, right? He got no wall bounce, he got nothing. Even if he EX command grab, he just couldn't combo off it. I don't think we need to like send Abel to hell or anything, or just add a ton of scaling. Sure, but the problem with adding scaling is that there is, if you don't understand how the combo system works for ultimate skills, there is a minimum floor for ult skill scaling. Ult skills can do a minimum of 40% damage, and then you can multiplicatively stack a 60% cancel penalty on top of that. but a lot of Abel's combos is highest damage combos, and in a lot of raw ult skills. So actually, Abel kind of just ignores scaling near the end of his combos on a lot of his optimals, and that's a big reason why he does so much goddamn damage, right? He just ends in so many of these like minimum scaling moves that like adding more stand to command grab would like it would lower the damage, but it wouldn't be as impactful as you would think. So and I think I'd rather just like Abel just can't combo off command grab anymore, right? I feel like send him to hell is thematically correct. So that's true. What's going on, Zachariah? How you doing? So yeah, I think that's relatively harsh, but I think Abel is too good for the kind of character he is as it stands, even though he's not a top tier necessarily. I don't think he's quite close either. All right, very simple one here. Hey, what if like this shit didn't give him a blade level on hit? All right, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let's talk about 2B. Okay, cool. All right, so 2B, right? 2B is interesting because her, like, she has a lot of crazy ass normal. She got a lot of crazy shit, right? But again, that is relatively like inbuilt to her identity, right? I have an interesting suggestion for some of y'all. So something that I think could be made. So 2B having like, you know, her skill moves are pretty like spooky. Her dash is really good, especially with like how fast it is and like the slide cancel stuff. Her normals are very good. Her double jump's real good, right? This little umbrella thing is pretty crazy. I think all of that is fine. I think what I would rather. I typed the whole thing and everything. No, I'm sorry, Midnight. Yeah, but like Lucillius is super easy, right? Lucillius is super easy. We just make Iscariot not give him a blade level on hit, and he's actually fine. Like he's in a totally fine spot, right? So I think what we can do with 2B is I'd like it if she was weaker without skill gauge. I'd like it if 2B was just weaker when she doesn't have her skill gauge. What did you say here, Suki? Hold on. Hear me out, her 228 needs to go. She shouldn't be able to just ground me from playing the game, but pressing one skill button make me not apply pressure. Okay, wait, here's the thing about 228 is that it is good, but also it uses half her skill gauge, right? So I think what if her like non-skill options were much worse, right? So like what are her non-skill options, right? Like pods, and shit, what's the I guess also like the I don't actually know how to do like the baseball swing nonsense, right? I actually don't know what the fuck is how do you do the baseball bullshit, right? I actually don't know. Is it 5? What the fuck is the input for it? Replace 2B with 7, so true. I think it's part of her auto combo. MML. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, and then you can go probably what like L into like yeah that and then or how do you do like the baseball swing? Like the one where she like launches the bullet and shoots it. It's her normal chain. I see. Yeah, I know what it looks like. I don't actually play. Yeah. So this. Isn't it LH? Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, LH or HL, gotcha. Yeah, so I think just making all of her non-skill options to end her pressure worse, right? Not like horrendously so, right? But I think it's fine. Like make it so it's a bigger difference. It feels like a bigger difference between her having her. So LH or HL. Gotcha. Thank you. Right. So like all of these options, like what if like this was maybe slower or like it had more recovery on whiff if you reacted and spot dodged or something, right? So she's taking risks when she doesn't have skill anymore. What if like pod was more minus on block than it currently is? I don't even know about like making it punishable necessarily. I think that's too much, right? I think that's way too much. Reacting to the bat is so easy though. Sure, but again, I think that makes it. I think for me the thing with 2B is that 2B is supposed to be a current objective survive character where she's just gonna win neutral and she's gonna get her turn first. And she has a lot of crazy shit she can do with skill and a lot of like, you know, she can do a lot of throw bait stuff where she's got pod, she's got like lots of ways to be plus, she's got 2-2H, she's got her slide cancel bullshit, all that. But like once she runs out of skill, I would like her to be weaker than she currently is, right? Not all of these at once necessarily. Like don't like, you know, don't nerf the bat or, you know, it's the bat. Don't nerf the bat or the backflip projectile or the pod. Like don't do all of them. But like one of these options is probably a little bit worse than it is. I kind of like pod how it is, honestly. Pod, like especially with the nerf they gave to her parry. So like you can 6XL after pod pretty consistently, right? Maybe these bat moves can just be like a little bit more minus on whiff, just have more recovery on them. Keep them the same frame advantage on hit. So if you don't block them, she's still plus, right? Or I mean she's more plus or whatever, right? Like just a little bit more minus on whiff. So that like any character, if you spot dodge or if you roll or something like that, you can just get like a full combo on her, right? So then she like it becomes a real big risk to like do that, and to like try to steal a turn back and get your skill gauge. That seems fine to me, right? again, it gives her more. It makes her feel like more identity as a character, I think, and it gives her more counterplay in general. It makes it so that like just wait until 2B is out of skill gauge is like kind of more realistic, right? I think 2B should have a mechanic where if you let her do boring ass gameplay and sit there and block until she runs out of skill gauge, you automatically win the round. Smile. So true. So true. Again, people really hate having to block 2B for as long as they do. If at least you got more reward once you ran her out of skill gauge, I think that would be very good for the character. It's like maybe all these like home run bat follow-ups are more minus on whiff. Pod is okay because Pod is like make Pod like her only like really like it's her safe ender. It's minus. She loses her turn, but she doesn't get hit for it. It's great, right? Pod's fine. Pod's fine. But yeah, like either like all these little bat moves make their ass more minus on block, right? Give her Nago Blood Pod. I don't think we need to do all that. All right, man, Vane and Beatrix. All right, you know, we're gonna talk about Vane in a second. I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna talk about Beatrix first. Hey, this is 21 frames now or something. Cool. All right, moving on. I think we might beat 2B. I don't think the matchup's horrible for Ladiva. I don't know if we beat her, but I don't think it's horrible. I agree. I don't think it's one of our worst for sure. Yeah, this is like 21 frames now. It's a combo tool, not a unreactable like. Maybe, honestly, this shit's like 28 frames now. Okay, no. So my point with this, I want 22H to be a combo tool and not a neutral tool. That's it, right? I don't know exactly how you tune the numbers for that, right? Maybe if it's like canceled into out of a yeah. If you have to make it so like if canceled into out of a normal on hit, it has its old startup or something. I know it's kind of like a very clunky way to do that, but I just don't want this thing to be a 15 frame move, right? 14 frame. I don't want this shit to be an unreactable neutral tool so that when you have clock, when she has clock, you just have to sit there and down back against the bitch, right? That's it. And then for Vane, I've been talking about that with Beatrix since like she fucking came out, by the way. So that's an easy one. I've had that one in mind since like fucking March or whatever the hell. Vane. That's another character who was like he's one of those characters that like, you know, why would you nerf Vane? Like why? Like what did Vane do to you? I don't know, man. Shouldn't it be worse low profiling? I mean, low profiling is what it does, right? Low profiling is what it does, I think. I'm okay with it. Like, and they already nerfed the low profiling on some of them, right? I don't know, man. Right? Like, what can you even nerf on him? Beats me. She needs a for getting in would need a trade-off? I don't think she needs a for getting in, right? She's got like a slow-ass fireball she can like run behind sometimes, and she's got really fast dash speed. I really don't. The idea that if Beatrix didn't have H riding free, also she has these, which are minus on block, and they still work the same exact way, right? The idea that if H riding free was reactable, Beatrix would struggle to get in does not seem correct to me, right? Nerf his 5U more, it's already useless anyway. Yo, I like this idea. Right? Yeah, because again, this is one of those characters where like, I don't know, why would you nerf Vane, man? Okay, no, let me not cop out. I already copped out on Nier, right? Let's actually try to think of something real for Vane, right? How about this? What if these throw baits were like what if this was like more minus on block? Right? What if this is more minus on block? So like this throw baits is like, you know, if he doesn't if he does this incorrectly, he loses his turn. How about that? That sounds right to me. Right. If you block 2-1-4M, he's like -3. So that sounds fine to me. Because this is like, you know, if he fucks up his throw baits, then he loses his turn, and then, you know, also if the other ones, the air one's like already super unsafe, right? So it's fine. And if you spot dodge him to like -20, like this grounded 2-1-4M, this thing's just -3 on block now. That's fine, right? Again, Vane is not. I'm not dying to kill Vane, right? All right. Oh, dude, a nerf for Vikala is crazy. I don't know. Yeah, a nerf for Vikala is wild. We'll talk about it in a second, though. Versusia, nerf anti-air 2H combo since most people should have learned their lesson by now anyway, so true. Nerf Star, I guess? That's fair, actually. Yeah, I might steal that one verbatim, nothing. That sounds good. Make Star heal people too? Okay, but let's talk about Versusia first. Also, let's get this fucking Belial music out of here. Let me get this Versusia versus Versusia going. Make cheese heal more. Interesting. Yeah, so for Versusia, let's talk Versusia first. Versusia's interesting, because she feels like she's in a decent spot to me. I'm not really sure that any moves really stand out to me as, like, too much on Versusia. How about this? Here's an idea. What if this was throw punishable? Right? Corner carry? No, I think her having, like, corner carry, like, having really good corner carry is fine, right? What if this was like, throw punishable? Yeah, people cry about her corner carry, yeah, but it's like her defining feature. That's like, you know, like that's fine. Make super unable to go through fireball? No. Yeah, like it's fine, it's fine. Nerf the length of her long kick? No, I think her having like good normal, like again, what if this was just throw punishable? So like this was just, you know, like this what like just make it so that you can't just like throw this out willy-nilly, right? Again, I don't think Versusia needs to get like I've always kind of touted Versusia as like a very fine example of a character that is like so like strong enough they don't really need buffs, I don't think. You know, weak enough that she doesn't need really big nerfs, right? 214L being throw punishable means it was weird people wouldn't really use it for neutral, period. I mean, yeah. I think it's okay to like make her neutral skips worse, right? Sure. It would just be worse, 2148. I mean, 2148 is like full combo punishable if you don't have your stock, right? So it's still something. 2148 is like full medium combo punishable. I think it's a reasonable, it's like a, you know, 5% nerf, and that's fine. Make her so like, you know, if she wants to neutral skip, she either has to have stock, right? She either has to have stock or she has to take a big risk. That sounds fine to me. I think she shouldn't get cinematic on SBA every time. That's reasonable. That's reasonable. But again, I don't think that's like that big of a deal, personally. Nerf for 6XL more? I don't know, man. I think it's fine. It moves too far? Alright, okay. I have to imagine you're joking. Alright, Vikala, yeah. Vikala, I might just steal no, actually, okay, what if I kind of do like the idea of... Oh, I just feel so... I kind of do like the idea of making... Yeah, exactly. I kind of do like the idea of making the... making her, like, bad items worse, quote-unquote. Like, what if cheese gave more meter and hearts gave more health, right? So, like... If it would give more incentive for Vikala, like, what if every heart was, like, 1,000 health instead of 500, right? So, like, then, if Vikala gets it, it's actually better for her, but if she does get the bad RNG on the items, it's quite bad. And if you get, like, the EX cannons to get hearts, you, like, heal the opponents for 2k. But if you get the heart yourself, you heal for 1k, right? Or 2k. So, 1k health for hearts? Yeah, that might be a little bit much. But it is also, I think it's the kind of thing that could potentially benefit Vikala sometimes. It is overall a nerf, though, for sure, right? Always remember Versusia put Vermilion put Versusia in top 5? I don't know. Make her items ordered I dislike RNG. I mean, that's more like a complete rework than anything, but yeah. Yeah, I feel like maybe that's fine. That might be, honestly, that might be a really big nerf. I don't think it's a buff at all, but like, it is, every now and then, it will be a good thing for Vikala, I guess, which is why it feels reasonable. Vikala's not amazing, obviously, which is why we don't really want to like nerf anything too substantial, right? But yeah, I think it also just makes her more funny, I guess, right? And at the end of the day, even the worst case scenario of like getting like double hearts out of the EX cannon and not noticing and firing it anyway, which by the way is like a skill issue, right? You have to, like playing Vikala, you have to notice what items you get. And if you do EX cannon and you get 2 hearts, you shouldn't fire that shit off. Like even that worst case scenario of doing that, you heal the opponent 2k, which is a lot. It's a lot, but that's a you problem, right? Like, you can make that work for you. You can work around that as the character, right? So, I think that sounds reasonable. And sometimes it'll be good for her, but overall probably is a nerf, for sure. Because, like, I feel like the opponent's probably going to benefit more. I don't think she can have detrimental items if they're not RNG. I mean, if it's ordered, it would just be kind of strange, I think. But yeah, that is... I think that's everyone, right? We got through everyone. That was longer than I thought it was going to be. Oh, man. I was going to do 1 buff for every character after this. We might have to do that on a different day. We might have to do that next... we might do some shorter videos. Actually, I mean, this stream's going to be long. We are going to go till 11 p.m. for Street Fighter patch notes. What was the Bubs nerf? The Bubs nerf was taking away the H needles into U Karma from really far distance. It just doesn't seem like U Karma can't hit people in block stun. That sounds fine to me. But yeah, I guess we're going to be here for until 11. So I have like 3.5 more hours before the SF6 patch notes drop. Maybe we could do 1 buff for everyone too. Yeah, because normally we couldn't, but the stream is going to be so long that it works for me. All right, cool. With that in mind, that is going to do it for this first video. Yeah, we're probably going to do 1 buff for everyone coming up next on stream here, but let me just say goodbye to the VOD watchers real quick. So, hello, VOD watchers. Hi, how's it going? Hope you had a good time with the video. If you did, any kind of like, subscribes, comments, bells, all that good stuff helps out a lot. I also do stream every day from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, except for Fridays. Grand Blue on Sundays if you want to come by and hang out. I also have a Discord. Great place to, you know, come by, get some matches, make some friends. But if you do join, be nice or I'll shoot you in the head in Minecraft. Most importantly, hope you had a great time hanging out today, as always. I know I sure did. Yeah, fun to talk about for sure. We'll see. I mean, the Sandalphon patch should be very big. I imagine there'll be much more than 1 change per character, but it was fun to theory craft, and we'll do the other half of this right now. For now, though, have a lot of fun with Grand Blue. Gonna be a lot more coming your way, and until then, I will see you in the next one. Peace.